Today we've put some stew meat and some water in a pan. This is a stainless steel pan. I've got it on my cast iron wood heater. We're going to be keeping the heater going all day, so what we're going to do is we're going to cook stew today. We're going to see how well it cooks on a wood stove in South Mississippi. So today the power went out. We have people cutting tree limbs down the road, and I'm pretty sure he cut a limb on a power line. As you can see, no power. Luckily for me, I started my stew on our wood stove, and we're going to keep it going all day. And Danny's smoking sausage, so it's going to be a day of off-grid living for us. Hey guys, I just wanted to take you along today. It's off-grid for a day. I look kind of rough, but I always do. We have no power, and it's probably because a guy down the road cutting limbs, he probably cut a limb on a tree, because we've had them in here for 2 weeks doing this. But I came in to brush my hair. Guess what? I'm having electricity withdrawals. I reached for that light switch not once, but twice in 2 minutes while trying to brush my hair. You guys, electricity withdrawal is a very serious disease. After Katrina, it was a running joke because we took and flipped light switches for nearly a week. By the time we finally quit flipping the light switches, the power came back on. We were out 10 days. But flipping light switches, turning water on, all those sort of things, you have some serious withdrawals from modern conveniences, believe me. I'm in my kitchen now. We have no power, so look. The stove is all quiet. And that's something I want to talk about, is the quietness. There's no running refrigerator or anything else in the background, and that's something you have to get used to, is the extreme quiet. During the week, you never think about all the noises that are in your house until you don't have them anymore. So quietness is one thing you have to get used to when you're off grid. And the other is no power. I know a lot of people are off grid, they have generators, they do all these things to have power, but today we are totally off grid. Okay, our stew has been cooking like a slow cooker. Let's see. The meat is getting kind of done. I'm going to crank the fire up a little bit. But you can see it's not on very high. And okay guys, I'm in a tank top, okay? It's just hot. This Mississippi weather goes from 42 in the morning to 65, probably 60 to 65 during the day. It's hot. So this has been on a slow cook all day. I put a piece of wood in. Mississippi is harder to cook on a wood stove than anywhere else. Mainly because it's hot most of the time. This is the first cool snap second cool snap we've had. So this is the first time I've kept it where I can cook. We're going to see how this turns out after a while. I'm fixing to crank the fire up a little because the sun's going down. We're going to add in potatoes, carrots, and English peas. Okay, this is about the size of wood. We put about this size every 30 minutes to an hour in here because it gets really too hot. And that's what we're dealing with today, even though it's probably going to be pretty cold tonight. Today it got up to probably 60 to 65. So I've kept a fire going. The meat is done. The first thing we're going to do, this is a combination of potato starch and almond milk. And I'm using my little whisk here. This is a Pampered Chef whisk that comes in handy for this kind of stuff. And we're just going to kind of whisk it in. That'll give us our thickener. All right, so right now we have our thickener in there. I've added salt and pepper and garlic and onion. Now we're adding a jar. This comes from our food storage now. These are our potatoes that Melody and I canned. So now we've got our potatoes. They're done. So all it's got to do is get hot here. Let it cook about 30 minutes to an hour whenever we get ready to eat. This is a jar of our carrots that we canned last year. They're done. Again, no cooking involved, just heating it up and getting the flavors to mesh. And a can of our English peas that we canned last year. This, from the food storage, is an awesome mix. You can see the English peas, the potatoes, the carrots, the meat, and the power's been out for a while. And this is off-grid cooking at its finest. This wood heater has done an awesome job getting the meat done really slowly. It's been on all day. And we're going to let this sit for about, I don't know, we got to go feed and stuff like that. So about an hour from now, we'll be ready to eat, guys. Okay, guys, it is 4:30 in the afternoon, as you can see. Still looks great out here. I'm in a tank top. It is probably 65 degrees still. Maybe at least 60. The house is like 82. Way too hot for me, but we're cooking. We're going to gather a little more wood, and we're going to keep it going till about 6. And we're going to see how it tastes. Our stew is done. So this has been an off-grid day for us to cook stew. As you can see, power's back on. We're doing good. It wasn't out too long, but it gave us an opportunity to cook off-grid on the wood stove and the stew. It looks pretty good. Danny's going to try it. He's going to tell you what he thinks of it. And I make cornbread ahead of time. I'm making the little triangular shapes. This was already made, so we just heated it here on the wood stove. Makes a good, quick additive for our stew.
Well, Wanda's got our stew cooked here. We've got our homemade cornbread, got our stew, which is from the place here, all the ingredients. And we got some of that smoked sausage that I smoked today. Looking forward to giving all of it a try. Well, let's see what it tastes like here. Nice and hot. You know, you can cook stew on a stove and you can cook it on a wood heater. It just tastes better coming from a wood heater. There's something about the taste of it that I can't explain it, but it tastes fantastic.
This is our cooking stew on a wood heater, off-grid for the day.